susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
The views and opinions expressed by the host do not state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views, opinions, and insinuations made by the host, guests, do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas! The numbers are out, and they are impossible to ignore. Nearly 7 out of 10 Filipinos now support an impeachment trial against the Vice President. But the real question is this about accountability or political survival? Tonight, we cut through the noise. This is the program where tough questions are asked, power is put under scrutiny, and no issue is off the table. Because the Filipino people deserve more than statements, they deserve answers. Ako po si George Bandola, and this is the PH Insider on TV. At para tulungan tayong himayin ng mga isyong politikal at matalinong diskurso, veterano po sa larangan ng mga isyong politikal. Kanina, nakakakwentuhan ko na. Matapang, siyempre, diretso at matalino sa kanyang mga binibitawang pahayag at pagpapaliwanag. Academician from the University of Santo Tomas and international relations expert, our resident political analyst, Professor Dr. Dennis Coronacion. Good evening, sir.
Magandang gabi po. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Dennis Coronacion. Samahan niyo po kami ni Sir George sa isang malalim na talakayan ng mga nagbabagang issue sa ating bansa.
Ang headline na mainit na pinag-uusapan ngayon ng sambayanan, 7 out of 10 Filipinos pabor sa impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Halos 7 po sa bawat 10 Pilipino ang suportado ang pagsasagawa ng impeachment trial laban kay VP Sara, ayon po sa pinakahuling survey ng Okta Research. Sa isinagawang survey ng tugon ng masa mula March 19 hanggang March 25, lumabas na 69% ng mga respondent ang nais na humarap si VP Sara sa paglilitis sa Senado para masagot ang mga aligasyon laban sa kanya. 28% naman ang tutol at 3% lamang ang hindi pa makapagpasya. Pinakamataas ang suporta mula sa Visayas at National Capital Region na may 83% at 81% ayon po sa pagkakasunod. Sa Mindanao naman, 61% ang pabor sa paglilitis habang, mataas ito habang 38% ang hindi sumasang-ayon. Batay po sa antas ng kabuhayan, nanguna ang Class D at Class ABC na may 72 at 71% na sumusuporta sa impeachment trial, habang 41% ng Class E ang tutol dito. Sa usapin po ng edad, pinakamarami sa mga kabataang nasa edad 18 anyos hanggang 24 anyos ang pabor po sa paglilitis, habang pinakamababa naman sa hanay ng edad 45 hanggang 54 anyos na may 60%. Ayon po sa Okta Research, ipinapakita ng resulta ang malawak na suporta ng publiko sa impeachment trial bilang paraan ng pananagutan at due process. Dagdag pa nila, nakikita rin ito bilang pagkakataon para malinaw at patas na matugunan ang mga alegasyon sa isang formal at transparent na proseso. Sa kabuuan, sinabi po ng Okta na ang impeachment ay hindi lamang dapat tignan bilang parusa, kundi bilang mekanismo para sa paglilinaw at resolusyon ng issue. From headlines to public debate, we now turn our attention to this issue. Ayan, nandiyan na ba? Joining us live via Zoom, Professor Ranjit Rai, ang presidente po ng Okta Research. Good evening po and welcome to the PH Insider on TV, Prof.
Magandang hapon sa atin lahat. And thank you for inviting us to your show.
Ayan, Professor, kasama ko rin po si Professor Dennis Coronacion at siyempre kami po dito ang gigisa sa inyo. Patungkol po dito sa isinagawa niyong survey. Well, eto nga po.
Thank you,
Your-
thank you. Dennis, pare, nice to see you again.
Yeah, kumusta, Professor Ranjit?
Aha. Ayan, your survey shows, Prof, na 69% support for an impeachment trial. Medyo there's a 41-point gap over those who opposed. Masasabi na ba natin dito na ito na yung konkretong sentimento ng taong bayan para matuloy ang impeachment?
Okay, I think maraming yung framing ng results namin kailangan maayos rin, no. Yung basic question namin is do you think she should face trial to be able to answer the allegations against her, no? I'll read the actual
Yes, please
actual
go
kasi
ahead.
it's important kasi that we frame it properly, no? And yung outcome ng survey namin does not talk about the outcome of removal, that she's already impeached. What we're basically asking is this question, which we've been asking since last year pa. Do you think the Vice President, Sara Duterte, should face trial in the Senate or an impeachment court to address the allegations against her? Last year, I think it was around the second quarter of 2025, it was around 78%. Okay? And today, or this quarter, the first quarter of 2026, the survey was conducted March 19 to 25. The number of people who are saying is now 69. It's a little lower than last year. And 28% said no, 3% said do not know. So really, we're talking here about the validity, at least in the eyes of the everyday Filipino, of a particular process, the impeachment trial. Here, the public is not rushing to remove her. No, that's not what the survey findings are saying. What they're basically saying is that we should hear the case. Now we have a additional what you call this survey. This part is commissioned, no, and it's an extensive probe, which looks into how Duterte voters think about this particular process. Because whether we accept it or not, this is a constitutional process. Whether it's popular or not, it has to happen, and that it should not even be affected by popular sentiment or public sentiment at all, but largely by the evidence. No? And the House is now hearing the case, and yesterday was explosive. Today is a little boring, no? COA reports, but actually quite significant, no? Very significant findings, no? When you look at the totals that need to be returned, they're mind-boggling rin, no? That whole confidential funds have to be actually returned from the fourth quarter 2022 to up to the third quarter 2023. No?
Pero Prof,
So, 200 million. So going back to the answer, no, and to your question, the answer is Filipinos are open to a trial, whether they're pro Duterte or anti. Pro Duterte sentiment has focused on the trial as a platform for due process. Bigyan siya ng
Prof. Ranjit, can I go back a little? You were saying last year that was 78%, tama?
Yeah,
and now
78, yeah.
it went down to 69%.
Yes.
Did you study where those sentiment came from at bakit bumaba?
I think the sentiment came down in Balanced Luzon, mostly in Balanced Luzon, and to some extent in the National Capital Region. So those were the major changes. No, now there could be many reasons for this. No, but it's a significant difference from last year and this. But these are two different cases, naman. These are two different periods in time, and two different processes. That was the first impeachment, which was turned down, no, or that was basically
the one shut down by the Supreme Court.
Unconstitutional, no, by the Supreme Court. This was the new one. This is the new the new impeachment process that's ongoing, and this is what we're seeing in the first quarter. At least for now. Will this change? Yes, obviously it might change. We don't know how the direction, but it looks like from the the hearings have moved from allegation to evidence na eh. And the evidence that's coming out is damning, no? Especially given the fact that you don't see the when you watch the hearings kanina, tinatanong, andyan ba yung Vice President? Is she present? Can she take an oath to counter the allegations made? She's not there. But outside in social media and in other fora, her lawyers, she herself have tried to answer these allegations. So we believe that the numbers we're seeing now, 69%, will change in the second quarter.
Prof. Dennis?
Yeah, Prof. Ranjit, follow-up question lang dun sa sa tanong ni Sir George. Again, the same topic na that there's a significant drop in terms of the how people perceive the impeachment against the Vice President. So itong dalawang yung 78% of last year and 69% of this year, dalawang magkaibang impeachment complaints impeachment process ang tinutukoy dito.
Yes, yeah.
Oh. Pero to what factors, Professor, can we attribute?
Prof. Dennis,
Yes, sir.
Dalawang periods to in time na, especially nung time na yun, grabe, under Speaker Martin Romualdez, grabe yung binuhos na resources, no, to make people more aware of the impeachment process. And it was, highly politicized, very polemical and polarizing, no? The way both houses dealt with the issue, no? And then it went to the Supreme Court eventually. But what was measured at that time was 78%. And again, it has to do with the framing of the question. This is the kind of question that both pro and anti-Duterte can answer it. And come to think about it, yung proseso ngayon, hindi ganun ka tindi yung PR campaign for it. Napansin niyo? Parang ganun lang. Pero when you look at the PR campaign last year for it, grabe. Ibang klase yung nangyari last year. So I guess siguro people are more informed. When you ask the everyday Filipino, yung data natin, 87% ang aware. Now, aware is not informed, in a sense, kasi hindi naman alam yung details ng kaso, yung mga nitty-gritty, yung mga nuances, tsaka yung mga technical legal. Most Filipinos will not understand that. They will only understand it once the trial, if the trial ever happens, no? But now in the House, maganda yung hearings kasi while this is not a trial, this is a preliminary investigation, people are not just given the chance to understand the issue, study the evidence, but also learn the process, diba? Yung sinasabi nating legal, political process that we call the impeachment.
Oh, yeah. Prof, there's something striking in the numbers, particularly in Mindanao, which is seen as a Duterte stronghold. How significant is it that a majority there still support a trial?
I think it's really because of the way the question was framed. But when you look at the regional breakdown, Doc Dennis, siyang pinakamababa, no? Pero yun nga, what we were surprised with was also the idea that majority siya. And by the way, this was a bigger majority in the first survey. Ang sagot dyan was another study we did, which is commissioned, but I can talk about aspects of it. One is that the everyday Duterte supporter looks at this particular question and this particular process as a mechanism for due process, an opportunity for her to clear her name. So that's why they support the idea of a trial. The framing and even the appreciation of a trial is seen as something neutral, something that is imbued with due process, that will give her a chance to clear her name, to answer the allegations against her. So that's possibly why there's so much openness, no? The idea of having a trial. That's one way to look at it, no? Again, these are just hypotheses, no?
Professor, you were saying earlier na when the allegations became a sabi nga ng iba, mini trial eh. When the allegations came to a mini trial and some evidence are starting to come out, do you think this 69% will go up or down?
I think it's possible it could go up, though. I mean, you guys are observing it. Yes. Honestly, I did not know the details. I'm an everyday regular Filipino who are just looking at this from two lenses. One, could this just be a political a form of political persecution? And are these all allegations? It's to make allegations. But now we're listening to Mr. Madriaga. Who went on. And he said so many damning things in that, affidavit, no? And then today, we now know that the COAS actually disallowed the money. Now, this is very important, ha? Kasi the defense of Vice VP Duterte is there's no disallowance. You're all complaining about something that's in thin air.
Yes.
They're just notices, but there's no disallowance. Dinisallow na pala.
But
official disallowance of 76 million. And then a party today in the hearing, merong disallowance for the first, second, and third quarter of 2023 total amounting to something like 300 million pesos. Now, that's the disallowances na. Ito na final na, disallowance. So, ibig sabihin kailangan ibalik. But of course, we understand na in the administrative process, pwede pa mag-appeal yung VP. Pero technically, it's disallowed already. Kailangan na ibalik.
Medyo damning itong number na to, Doc Dennis, no?
I know. Pero ang question, boss, naiintindihan ba ng ating kababayan?
Kaya nga.
Ito mga to. Pero sa-summarize, kagaya ninyo.
Sigurado yan, Prof. Dennis, kasi record-wise, Prof. Ranjit and Doc Dennis, record-wise, ang sabi ng COMELEC, there were around 8.8 million na mga kabataan ang bagong nagrehistro ngayon. So, malaki ang bahagdan ng mga kabataan ang posibleng botante ngayon. And true enough, around 77% of those age 18 to 24, tama ba? Ang sumusuporta sa trial,
tama.
Baka madagdagan pa ito. Kasi nga, dumami ang mga kabataang botante ngayon eh. Tama ba?
Yeah, tama. At least in our survey, the biggest supporters of a pursuit of a continuing trial, in pursuit of this institution and process called impeachment, are really the young people in our society, ages 18 to 24. 77%, no, ang sumusuporta sa pagdinig ng trial, no. Again, tandaan natin, Filipinos are not rushing to judge. They're just asking accountability. They're asking for a proper process, where a proper institution, no, to realize due process also. So hindi pa clear sa ating mga kababayan if she should be removed or she's guilty. But what is clear for them is that kailangan matuloy yung para lumabas yung katotohanan, mabigyan siya ng katarungan at the same time for those who want money to be returned and are convinced that there's some wrongdoing, they're looking at it from the lens of pananagutan or accountability. So yun lang. I think 77% of the youth support a trial. They're not saying removal, but a trial. So I think that's a big thing.
So Filipinos are fully aware, parang ganun na ang lumalabas ngayon. It's not just a
87%
reactionary statement
are aware.
Sentiment.
87% are aware, 69% support a trial. So sa kamalayan, sa awareness, mataas po. And I'm sure as the hearing continues and evidence is shown, engagement will also become higher. But if the VP is unable to respond adequately, we can expect that her numbers will get a hit. her preference will get a hit also.
Ayun. Babalikan ka namin, Prof. Ranjit, ha? But of course, the numbers are clear, the public sentiment is strong, but the real question is, will this move institutions to act? We go deeper when the PH Insider on TV returns after the break.
2025 was a meaningful year for Bingo Plus Foundation. As our purpose grew, it was time for a new chapter. Introducing DigiPlus Foundation.
Education is the bridge to opportunities. Through the Future Smart program, we empower learners and educators nationwide. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply learning for a better future.
Healthcare should come with no barriers. Kalusugan Plus delivers medical missions, and Embrace Plus mental health support, which empower every Filipino through compassionate and accessible healthcare. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply healing. One patient, one community at a time.
Every dream deserves a chance. In Wish Plus, we grant wishes, empowering individuals, families, and communities together with their partners. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply hope, dignity, and possibilities.
Disasters don't wait. Through the Bayanihan Plus program, we mobilize immediate response and recovery efforts. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply the spirit of Bayanihan across the nation.
DigiPlus Foundation is committed to delivering on our promise to bring help within everyone's reach. When support becomes accessible, impact doesn't just grow, it multiplies.
Madali pa mag-cash in sa Bingo Plus?
Sa Bingo Plus.
Official partner na namin ng Bayad Center. Easy!
License ba yun ng Pagcor? Sa Bingo Plus.
Kaya responsible gaming lagi.
Ang fun!
Gaming? Na may insurance?
Sa Bingo Plus.
Sa PhilFirst, insured ang wallet mo ng 1 million pesos.
Safe nga! Talaga namang...
Sa Bingo Plus.
Partnered with Bayad Center, licensed by Pagcor, protected by PhilFirst.
Sa Bingo Plus.
The best players succeed because they set boundaries. Every great athlete wins with control. Always have a game plan.
You're still watching the PH Insider on TV. We've seen the numbers now. We go beyond them. What do these results mean for accountability, governance, and the path forward? Let's continue the discussion. Siyempre, kasama ko pa rin ang magiting na Professor Dr. Dennis Coronacion ng UST. At of course, live via Zoom, Professor Ranjit Rai, ang Okta Research President. Ayan. Salamat po sa pagpapatuloy. May pinag-uusapan kami dito kanina ni Doc Dennis. Doc Dennis, sige,
Yes.
tanungin mo si Prof.
Oo, Prof. Ranjit, hinihimay namin yung mga survey data ng Okta, no? And napansin namin na there's a, yung numbers, yung results from the rural and urban areas seem to tell, a different story. Kasi the assumption is that yung mga mga taga Metro Manila lang o yung mga nasa urban areas lang ang sumusuporta doon sa impeachment process against the Vice President. But based on your data, rural areas show 75% support, higher than urban areas at 63%.
We're trying to figure out here if those underwent the survey is are those elite groups or di ba? So parang mahirap kasing sumahin agad-agad. Mahirap mag-jump into conclusion na hindi, mga mayayaman lang mga gusto siyang
Gusto siya
pa-impeach. Pero whereas ang support base ng mga Duterte, historically and during the 2015, 2016 nung unang tumakbo yung kanyang tatay, makikita natin na dun sa mga grupo na OFWs of course,
Yes.
and the so-called mahihirap.
O yung
diba?
socio-economic classes, D and E. O diyan ang gagaling strong support given to the Dutertes. Pero itong survey numbers na to kakaibang na sinasabi, lalo pa out doon sa doon sa mga areas outside the urban yung mga cities. Oo.
Kasi palagi ako nabibiro May lumabas sa mga na-survey ka ba? Palagi mga ganun ang tanong 'Di ba? Hindi naman po talaga may masasabi na lahat tayo pwede may dahil sa survey.
Hindi kaya. Mahirap. And although yung method naman ng mga nagsisurvey na to, talaga namang rigorous and scientific Kaya nga lang maliit lang yung sample size nila. Pero kahit na maliit yon compared to the entire Filipino population, sufficient naman to represent.
But you as an academician, Doc Dennis, you support the survey and you believe that this survey actually symbolizes the sentiment of the whole population.
Yes, as an academic who also engages in research, talagang tingin namin sa survey, this is a good source of data na pwedeng i-interpret ng mga political scientists and even mga social scientists. So kapag maganda yung pagkakagawa mo ng survey, pulido yung method, talaga napaka-reliable ng data. At makikita nyo yung sentimiento ng mga tao. At kaya nga lang, ito ang limitation nito is that yung opinion ng mga tao, yung kanilang sentimento is only valid for a specific period of time. Fleeting yan
At least for policymakers siguro o kaya para sa mga ganitong pagkakataon po pwede. Pero kasi several surveys have shown na parang yung iba hindi nangyayari. Like what happened in 2025 elections, di ba?
Yung 2025, I think nila na-capture ng mga questionnaires, yung bang data na paano napasama yung mga hindi naman napasama sa survey.
Again, babalikan po natin ang may utak. The brain behind this survey. Si Professor Ranjit Rai, balikan na natin via Zoom. Prof. Ranjit.
Prof. Ranjit.
Ayan, yung audio lang po, yung audio. Medyo...
Yan.
Hi,
I'm sorry. To answer your question, support, awareness is, high all throughout the country. Pero yung support, yung rural, 75, urban is 63. Parang siguro ang reflection nito is that it's not just a Metro Manila conversation. It's not just an urban setting conversation. This has become a nationwide sentiment. But I think more telling for me, apart from rural urban, is really the sentiment across socioeconomic classes. Pag tingnan mo sa socioeconomic classes, mga mayayaman sa atin, 71% class A, B, C. Sa class D, pinaka-nakarami sa atin, 72%. Pero yung pinaka-nangangailangan sa atin, in socioeconomic class na nahihirapan ngayong panahon, class E, 54% lang ang sang-ayon sa trial. And ang laki ho ng porsyento ng class E ang against hearing or continuing a trial against VP Duterte. Ito rin yung base of support niya, by the way. Class E ang karamihan ng supporters.
So tama.
So sila talaga yung pinaka tutol dito. So medyo consistent naman siya sa lahat ng naiintindihan natin about her vote, her preference, Pero gusto kong mag-react dun sa sinabi nyo earlier, na surveys, surveys are not, kailangan natin klaro sa ating mga kababayan. Ang survey hindi crystal ball yan.
Yes.
Hindi ko sinabi na leading ka ngayon, guarantee na yan. Ikaw na mananalo.
Oh,
Kasi
alam
kung
nung
ganyan,
isang
bakit pa tayo mag-i-eleksyon? Kung nga survey magsasabi mananalo si Prof. Dennis, bakit pa tayo mag-i-eleksyon, di ba? Ang snapshot lang of a particular time. Pero ang tanong natin, are they reliable? Now, siguro nakikita natin yung results ng ibang survey companies, pero sa Octaho, last 2025 elections, hindi naman kami masyadong masama ang sitwasyon kasi 12 out of 12 ho na sinabi namin probable winners, pumasok naman po. Tapos yung sinabi namin mananalo si Marcoleta, nanalo naman. Kami nga unang nagsabi noon. Sinabi namin sa pasok na si Bam a month or two before the elections. Tapos si Sen Kiko, sinabi namin mananalo. Nanalo naman. Number 2, pag tingnan mo yung actual vote, lalo na kay Senator Kiko at siya kay Senator Marcoleta, wala pang 1% yung diferensya dun sa kinol namin na possible percentage of vote niya nung April, 1 month before the elections. So ayaw ko sa ibang survey company kung ano yung performance nila, pero kami 12 out of 12 kami, kaya wala kaming problema nung last election. Hindi mo naman talaga pwedeng sabihin eksakto yung rank kasi hindi naman yun ang basehan ng magaling yung rank. Ang kailangan basehan yung actual percentage.
Parang nagko-contradict yung sinabi mo, Prof. Bakit pumasok yung 12 out of 12 niyo kung wala kayong bolang kristal?
Hindi naman. Nagkulang na kami. Sasabihin ko kung sa kami nagkulang, ha? Nagkulang kami dun sa... Pumasok kasi sa lahat ng survey companies, pumasok yung pangalan ni Bong Revilla. Sila nanalo. Pumasok lahat ng survey companies, sinabi mananalo yung Ben Tulfo. So, that gave those two names. Survey company sa badly. Alam mo, kami lahat lumagpak Parang they underperformed. Kasi nga, tama si Sir Dennis, Prof. Dennis, marami nangyari kasi April 24 yung huli namin survey. Ang dami nangyari between that and the elections. Alam mo naman, yung linggo-linggo na yan, ang daming negosasyon dyan, ang daming dynamics. At huwag natin kalimutan, ang everyday voter, hindi nakinig sa survey. Alam mo yon? And I'm happy that they did not. Kasi, bakit mo papakinggan yung survey? Kundi pinakinggan mo yung survey, marami doon mga hindi dapat nanalo o hindi dapat sa mananalo. They went out and voted. And they voted strategically. Many people voted only 3 names. Across the country, the farthest majority of people went was 6 votes. 6 to 8 votes.
Hindi talaga
and 20% of them decided in the last 3 days. Ano ba yan? Talagang magkakaroon ng dynamic yan. So when we released the results na available naman sa media noong time na sinabi we could not make a call. Kasi yung difference between the actual 12, which is Bam Aquino, and everyone else down to number 16 was just 1 or 2 percentage points within the margin of error. So kasama sila. Lumabas.
Totoo yun.
Of course,
don't
16.
Don't worry, Prof. Ranjit. Hindi namin kukwestiyonin ang integridad ng survey. Actually, ito nga ang pinag-uusapan namin. The Octa survey, sinasabi nga namin dito, not necessarily calling for a conviction against conviction of VP Sara, but a demand for transparency na dapat maisalang lang siya sa impeachment trial. Tama ho ba?
Tama. At saka hindi, sa mga supporter niya, pagkakataon for due process, di ba? Bigyan siya pagkakataon, i-clear yung name niya. Pero of course, hindi naman niya, she's not taking advantage of the platform, the formal platform. What she's doing now, maybe it's more effective, siguro in her case, she's going to social media, she's talking outside of the hearings, ganyan. And so this is, at tandaan niyo, hearings, hindi pwedeng hanggang hindi pwedeng probing questions. So technically, she can go there and, she can answer these allegations squarely and frontally and objectively and very, I'm sure decisively, if she was there. But she's not there. She has decided not to, take part. So her lawyers are there. Pero again, whether we accept it or not, talagang parang parang ulan yung ebidensya lumalabas kasi dati allegation nga Allegation lang, ngayon ebidensya na. So to end my statement kanina, surveys are still reliable.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk about the last date study we had on it, which we submitted to the COMELEC and presented to the COMELEC MBAC and in front of media, 61% of our kababayans trust surveys and only 6% distrust it. So yun ang katotohanan. The rest are of course ambivalent pa, undecided. But yun nga, not all survey companies can be trusted. Yun ang kailangan, dapat maging critical tayo. Kahit sa Okta rin, dapat maging critical tayo. So i-compare lang with other survey companies. Meron naman tayong dalawa na nauna na medyo established na sila, kilala. So yan yung gold standard. Kaming Okta, we're still trying to build our name. No? Pero totoo yun, maraming mga Poncio Pilato at saka mga tulisan na survey companies. No?
Kanina pinag-uusapan namin yan. Mukhang lulutang yan bago mag-eleksyon, Prof. Ayan. Sige, Prof. Dennis. Doc Dennis.
Nakaka-contribute to disinformation.
Prof. Ranjit, at this point, balikan natin yung 69% na support given by the Filipinos to the impeachment process against the Vice President. Mataas ho yun, no? yung ganung klaseng public support. How do you think that this can, the high level of support, do you think that this can influence our lawmakers, especially those who hesitate to proceed with the impeachment process?
Yun ang tanong.
Ewan ko ha. Alam mo, we also came up with a study ng fourth quarter ng 2025. Ito lang, nakakatakas lang. Do people believe that our lawmakers, our elected officials listen to us?
Mahina yung audio ni Prof. Ranjit.
Ayan, sir. Yeah, can you hear me? Yan. To answer directly Dennis's question, yes, I think it could influence, but I think it's better if the members of Congress are influenced by the evidence. The members of Congress are convinced that this constitutional mandate should be taken seriously, and that political, partisan political interest should be taken aside. Because I think more than people's sentiment, I think the partisan political dynamics in the House will be of greater influence the 2028 dynamics now will be of greater influence on the decisions of our congressmen in the. That shouldn't be it. It should be based on the evidence. I think the House hearings have provided a fair process. They're very, very, cognizant of the rules. Talagang makita mo si Congresswoman Luistro, the way she's handling the hearings, talagang balance. And wala ka na masasabi, di ba, na hindi pinagbigyan. Kasi yun ang sinabi ng Vice President last year na walang due process. Ngayon talagang sobra-sobra naman, di ba?
Definitely. Pero as to the impeachment court, as to the Senate, with this growing sentiment, sa tingin mo ba, Prof. Dennis, magbabago ang pananaw ng mga senador?
Posible, kasi alam naman natin na may kanya-kanyang kinikilingan yung mga yan.
Pero politika kasi ito. Yun ang problema. Diba?
Pero siguro, to a certain extent, may effect, may impact yung public opinion sa kanilang magiging desisyon.
Kasi palagi natin sinasabi, by the numbers palagi, itong impeachment. Kanina, sinasabi ho namin will this public opinion makaka-apekto, will this public opinion affects the integrity ng impeachment court or even the perception ng mga senador, especially on how they decide?
I think for one thing, it will affect. Definitely have an effect. As all public opinion research outputs tend to have an effect. But my hope and prayer is that the real effect should come from the evidence. That people should be people who are whether the members of the committee or members of the House of Representatives should decide based on the evidence, not just because it's popular with people. Obviously, there's so much to be understood, as far as the allegations, the evidence is concerned, and that should be the sole basis, for deciding on whether to vote for or against this impeachment case against the Vice President. So yun lang. But yeah, definitely this will have some impact, but we're not very, we don't think that, it will be that big, no? What it will do is assure the committee there is public support for this process.
Yeah.
Yun lang. Yun lang naman yun eh. Pero naintindihan alam ng tao yung nangyayari. Hindi nila alam yung detalye, syempre. At wala pa silang judgment, pero gusto nila matuloy yung proseso para malaman na ng kung ano talaga ang katotohanan, mabigyan ng katarungan yung Vice President rin on one side, ma-realize yung accountability kung pananagutan nga.
Natanong ba yung mga respondent kung payag ba sila sa ginagawa ni VP na patuloy na ine-evade itong mga question na ito? And even parang hindi ginagalang ang Kongreso? Natanong ba sila?
Hindi naman po. Hindi namin natanong sa survey yun. Pero pag tinanong namin sila kung sinong gusto nila maging presidente sa 2028, number 1 pa rin si VP Duterte. So, yun na yung sagot sa katanungan ng lahat. No?
There's a clear opinion, a majority opinion of the Filipino people that they want the trial to go through.
Yes.
They don't want, parang lumalabas dito na they don't want the Supreme Court to meddle. Parang ganun ba? Ganun din ba ang lumalabas dyan? Dahil sa opinion ng taong bayan yan, may ganyan bang interpretasyon, Prof? Na ayaw nilang makialam ang Korte Suprema?
Parang, unang-una, wala sa datos natin yan, pero parang opinion mo kaya yan eh.
Kasi, di ba? Di ba?
Hindi pwede yung mga haka-haka opinion. Yung datos lang pwede. Datos simple lang. Gusto talaga ng mayorya ng ating kababayan na matuloy yung paglilitis. Naman, seryosohin ng mga taong involved, yung mga congressman natin, mga senador natin. Kasi constitutional mandate to eh. Hindi naman to popularity contest. Kahit naman kwota ng taong bayan, may nag-complain eh. Yan yung pananagutan na dapat ma-realize at yung mandato na dapat ma-realize ng Kongreso na nasa Constitution natin to, seryoso mekanismo to for accountability. Sana naman people take their job seriously. No? And I think the committee is doing the best that they can. And, I'm very proud of the way Chairwoman Jervil Luistro, no? She's really becoming a superstar na. This is my opinion lang, no? As far as the political landscape is concerned. Kasi nga, ang galing niya magpa-book ng diskusyon sa House. Ang hirap-hirap dahil ang daming ego. No? The way she's done it, together with Laila De Lima, Kel Jokno, they're running the show there, and it's been, I think, by and large, very respectful of rights and due process. And, the mechanism is moving forward. Now, whether the plenary will vote for the decision of this committee, we don't know. We hope that they will be swayed by the evidence. Okay, again, we're not saying that VP Duterte is guilty.
Yeah.
Again, we're not saying that she should be removed from office. No, we're just saying that let this process move forward, as is the position of the majority of everyday Filipinos. Tuloy natin yung proseso, tingnan natin yung ebidensya at doon tayo magdesisyon pagkatapos.
Very well said. Professor Ranjit, again, maraming salamat sa oras mo ngayong gabi at your message to the Filipino people, especially those yung mga naguguluhan o mga ayaw pa ring maniwala dito sa survey na ito.
Well, alam mo, karapatan nilang di pakinggan at paniwalaan ang Okta survey. Kami naman sa Okta, messenger lang kami. Ang ilalabas namin yung saloobin, opinion, pananaw ng mayorya ng ating mga kababayan. Ang Okta, lagi-lagi para sa bayan yan. So, ito yung lumabas. Consistent naman to dun sa lumabas rin last year. Mas mababa pa nga. Pero ang punto namin dito, karamihan klaro ang survey. 69%, mayorya ng ating mga kababayan gusto matuloy ang impeachment trial. Yun lang.
Thank you, Prof. Ranjit.
Thank you, Prof. Ranjit.
Thank you.
ang presidente po ng Octa Research, si Professor Ranjit Ray, ang ating pong nakausap. Maraming salamat po. Yan, Doc Dennis, bagamat talaga nga namang sabihin natin, pinagkakatiwalaan ng, siyempre, sila yung sumagot dun sa mga survey. So 69% pinagkakatiwalaan. Ang susunod na interpretasyon lang, kailangan bang sumunod ng mga mambabatas dito sa public opinion na ito?
Well, yun ang malalaman natin sa mga susunod na buwan. O kasi sa ngayon mahirap sagutin yung tanong na yan kasi sabi nga ni Prof. Ranjit kanina, may magkakaroon ng impact yan sa mga mambabatas natin to a certain extent. So yun, pero malinaw ang mensahe dito. Siguro ang tingin ko isa sa mga key takeaways nitong survey na kinonduct ng Octa is that gusto ng mga tao na matuloy yung impeachment process. Dahil naniniwala sila na ito ay isang mekanismo upang itaguyod o i-promote yung transparency at saka accountability. Pero hindi pa sinasagot ng survey kung gusto nila makonvict.
Yan.
Oo, masabing not guilty si Vice President. Doon pa lamang sa sa aspeto na ang sinasagot lang ng survey, gusto ba ng mga Pilipino na matuloy itong impeachment process na to. Yeah.
Pero habang sinasabi mo yan, Doc Dennis, alam mo bang nanonood sa atin ng Korte Suprema? Baka sabi lang, wait and see lang kayo, di ba? Kasi, well, there are opinions and public comments pa rin mula sa publiko na ang paniwala nila, malamang harangin na naman daw ito dahil sa magkakaibang interpretasyon nila sa ginagawa ng Kongreso at taliwas di umano doon sa dapat na gawin lang nila bilang prosecutor.
Pero tingin ko, bago pa man nilabas yung survey result na to, parang naamoy na ng Korte Suprema Kasi parang last week, may hinihintay sila mag-issue ng TRO.
Wala.
Pero wala. So baka naramdaman nila to, no?
So, yun. Tingnan nga natin. The survey tells us one thing clearly. The Filipino people are engaged, aware, and invested in the process of governance. This is not a call for judgment. Sabi nga namin ni Doc Dennis at Professor Ranjit, but a call for transparency, not a rush to convict, but a demand to be informed. In the end, democracy works best when institutions are allowed to function, when processes are respected, and when truth is pursued openly and fairly. Because accountability strengthens trust, and trust is the foundation of any nation. The people have spoken, not with anger, but with expectation. Now it is up to our institutions to listen. Makinig kayo dyan sa Kongreso at sa Senado. Again, magandang gabi po. Ako po ang inyong nakasama, George Bandola, at maraming salamat po muli with, of course, our resident political analyst, Dr. Dennis Coronacion. Hanggang sa muli po nating paghimay ng mga balitang may pakialam ka. This is the program where we cut through the noise, confronts the gaps, and demands the answer the nation deserves. This is the PH Insider on TV.